Hi, I'm Mike Hanberger with Tricky Fast Studios, and today I'm going to show you how the quest system works in Cat Game Builder. By the end of this video, you should know how to make a quest using the tools in Cat Game Builder and how to add the quest service to your scenes. For this video, we're going to be in the Cat RPG scene, so you can find that in Tricky Fast Examples RPG Cat RPG. Now if you open that up, it already has the quest in the conductor and everything you need. But if you were to start from scratch, you definitely need to add a quest service. To do that, you can go to the Cat menu under New, and then Services, and then Quest Service. The first thing to do after that is under the quest service, you can add quests. So you can create a quest using the right mouse button, or under Cat, you can do New, Quests, and then Quest. The quest system in Cat breaks things up into three different pieces. The main piece is the actual quest. So underneath every quest, you have to have one or more stages. A stage is kind of just a way to break up the tasks in the quest. Some quests just might have one stage. This one has two. It's a very good way to show only a specific set of steps at a time to the player. And you can also create rewards for each stage. Plus, you can jump between stages. They don't have to go in order so that you can have a non-linear quest. For example, if I go in and I kill the helpful NPC instead of talking to him, it could go to a different quest stage that sets the guards in the town after me. This quest, however, is a little more simple. If we look under it, we see that there's two actions underneath it. The first is this reward gold on complete action. What this does is it's set up as a complete action, which you can see by this little highlighted checkmark icon. This is a special thing in the quest system. So when you check this off, whatever quest part you're underneath, whenever that's finished, this action will run. So in this case, we're just adding 500 to the player's gold when they complete the whole quest. The other action under here is a change state action. This is also a complete action. So whenever we finish the quest, we're going to change the reset quest dialog state machine into the show. Now underneath this quest, there's also two stages. You can see they have this little star icon. And as you notice, the quest has a flag icon. So the stages are the talk to NPC and the kill monster stage. So let's look at this talk to NPC stage. So under here, we have one step, which is talk to the NPC. Now, one thing you'll note is that stages, and also quests actually, have a description and a name. These use localized strings, but if you're not using the localization service, you can also just set their names directly. So for this first step under the first stage, we've set the name and the description. You can also set whether they're optional or not. So steps can be optional. That means that they do show up in your list, but if you don't do them, it can still mark the quest stage as complete as long as all the non-optional quest steps have been completed. Quest steps also have a count. The count is how many times its trigger needs to fire before the quest step is marked as complete. And this can be used for things like kill 10 wolves. So every time you kill a wolf, it'll tick up the counter. And eventually, once you get to 10, you'll complete that quest step. In this case, we're not using it, so we've left it at 0. Each quest step requires a trigger underneath it. And that trigger, it's directly underneath it. It's not in a triggered action. It's directly underneath the quest step. So in this case, we have a change state trigger. And these triggers, what it means is as soon as that trigger fires, that quest step is going to be completed or the count's going to go up. So in this case, we have the change state trigger. We're listening on the NPC dialog intro state machine for it to go in the OK state. So basically, as soon as you hit OK after you talk to the NPC and you hit the accept button. So we have a set game object value from target action where we're setting the dialog property on the talkative NPC over here. And even if that's his default dialog, you probably want to do this because we're messing with this dialog in other places in the quest. And we want to make sure that if the player loads into this state of the quest, his dialogue is set to the appropriate thing. Any setup that needs to be done for that step, even if it may already be the default, you still want to do it again just to make sure. So that's it for the first step here. And that's actually the only step in the stage. So on to the next stage, which is a little bit more complicated. It has 3 steps and several actions. So this first action is to enable the monster. So when we're in this step, we've already talked to the NPC and he said, hey, there's a monster, you got to go kill it. The first thing to do in this step is to make sure he's enabled. As you can see in here, he's Kubi here. He starts off as disabled. So anytime we're in this stage, it'll automatically enable them. And the reason to do that here versus in the end of stage 01 or step 01 is because if you load in and you're already on stage 2, you want to make sure this gets run. So we also have a change state action on Kubi to change him into the initialized state. This is another similar thing in case he's been already active and killed, reactivate him, but we're also going to set him into the initialized state so he's not dead anymore. Finally, another setup action here is changing the dialogue on our helpful NPC to none. And we want to do that so that if you click on him again, he's not going to show the, hey, there's a monster, go kill him dialogue again. We want to just show nothing. We have another complete action here, which is the reset quest dialogue to the show state. So this reset quest dialogue is just basically it shows up when you've completed the quest, and it gives you the option to restart the quest. Normally you probably wouldn't have something like that, but in this case we wanted people to be able to restart this quest on the RPG example as many times as they wanted. So we have this first step, find monster. Once again, it's got the name of the description set. And for its trigger, it has a change state trigger. That's a pretty common occurrence with quests, is to have the trigger be listening on another NPC or other state machine for it to change into a certain state. In this case, we're waiting for the enemy to change into pursue state. And as soon as that happens, we're going to complete this step. So basically, as soon as you get close enough to him that he's going to run after you, this step is going to be marked as complete. The next step, you have to kill him. So in this step, we do have another complete action. In this case, we're going to set the NPC's dialogue to the rewarding dialogue. So before you enter the next step, which is to talk to the NPC and get the reward, we're going to set his dialogue here. And then for our trigger, we have another change state trigger, which is listening for Kubi, who's the evil NPC, to go into the dead state. So as soon as that happens, this step is marked as complete. We'll set the dialogue of the helpful NPC to the reward dialogue, and we'll go to the next step here. One thing to note about this is that as soon as a stage becomes active, all of its steps immediately become active, unless you've already completed one. If you're adding actions that start with a step being active, you should notice that step 3 is going to be active as soon as step 1 is active at the same time as step 2 is active. So they all become active at the same time. So it's not like it goes ABC. So you can actually technically, if your gameplay allows it, you could complete step 3 first, and then step 1, and then step 2 after that. So for step 3, if we have a change state trigger, we're listening on the reward dialogue to see when the OK has been clicked. We also are going to set the dialogue to none as soon as we leave this state for our helpful NPC, because you don't want to keep getting that reward over and over again. That would be bad for us as the game designer, and probably good for the player because he'd get lots of money. We also have, as soon as you enter this state, we have this conditional action that's checking to see if the kill monster step, that previous step we just looked at, has been completed. If so, it's going to set the helpful NPC's dialogue to reward. Whenever you load into this stage, all 3 of these steps are become active immediately. So if you're just playing through, you're going to get to this kill monster step. This complete action is going to run, and he's going to be in the reward. The friendly guy is going to be in the reward state. However, if you just load in and you've already completed the kill monster state, he's not going to, by default, have the reward dialogue. So that's why we have this conditional action. It checks to see if you've already completed the kill monster step, and if so, it puts up the reward dialogue. So it's just a little extra protection against loading in the wrong spot. And honestly, that's it for the quest. Let's run through it now, though. So this quest was just granted, and you can see from the debugging over here, Quest 01's active, this first stage is active, and the first step is active. And same with this change state trigger. And if we look in here, we can also see our set game value from target action has run once as well. But our reward gold on complete action has not run yet because we haven't completed the quest. So let's go over and talk to this guy. Heck yeah. So now, as you watched, the stage 1 was completed. We're now in stage 2. And if we switch over to stage 2, our enable monster here has run. So if we turn around over this way, we should probably see that guy moving around. Yep, there he is. He's changed to the initialized state. We've set the dialogue in the NPC to none. So if we come back over here and we click on him, he just doesn't do anything at all. So he's going to ignore us. We could have obviously put in a dialogue that said something like, hey, go kill the monster. But we didn't do that. So let's see. So all three of these steps are active. This complete action hasn't run yet because we haven't completed that step. So let's go complete that step. So we're going to come over here. We found the monster. And as you can see, that step 1 found monster is no longer active. And the other step for killing the monster is still active. Let's go kill the monster. And once I've done that, the kill monster step is no longer active. If we look at this complete action for that step has run. And now we're on step 3. And this complete action for set NPC dialogue to none hasn't run yet, because that set is a complete action. So we're just waiting for me to go over and talk to our helpful NPC over here. All right, we've been rewarded. So as soon as I click this, the quest is going to complete. The set NPC dialogue to none action is going to run. The reward gold on complete action is going to run. And there we go. So you can see the reward gold on complete action did run. And now also that change state action over here, that ran as well. So over here, if you look at our reset quest dialog, it's now in the show state. So we can either take this quest again or not. So that's it for making a quest in Cat Game Builder. In this video, you should have learned how quests are put together and how to use the quest system. I hope you found this video informative and useful. Let us know in the comments if there are other tutorials you'd like to see. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on social media for the latest videos and other news. For more information on Cat and how it can help you prototype and build games faster, please visit trickyfast.com/cat. I'm Mike Handverker with Tricky Fast Studios. Thanks for watching.